bet you we end up calling it Aerosmith 15.
No way. What the fuck does that mean? That's not true anyway. You can't count greatest hits and bootlegs and shit.
Okay, Aerosmith 14. Aerosmith 12. You know what I mean. It's like it's gonna come out.
Well, it might, but I doubt it. You guys can't think that way anyway.
I'd rather call it Pump than anything else.
With what
on the cover?
Yeah.
I am responsible for the title Pump. It's my fault. It truly is an epic, the whole tale of the title. I came up with the title shortly after our permanent vacation tour had ended. We were having a business meeting, and as usual, I wasn't paying. I was daydreaming, and was looking around at all the titles of our previous albums, which adorn our manager's office. And I'm going, oh, we got to do another one of these now, another album, another title, and that's really where Pump originated at that meeting, because I thought the Aerosmith logo reminded me of the old Flying A gasoline sign, and I started to go with the whole gasoline station theme, and I started working with that. I started working with one of the guys at the office, Keith Gard, and I told him about my idea, and we said, yeah, Pump, just, is it Pumps, is it, and it just became Pump, and we thought it was great, and everybody thought it was great, except the guys in my band.
Well, that's the thing, if this was our first record, it would be, you'd never put Fine on the record, but it being Aerosmith, people are going to go, Fine, what did they call it that for,
And then someone would say, because it's fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional, that's what it stands for. And everybody will go, oh, now I know why they did that.
I mean, it's a chance, that's all. It's our 14th record, and everything else has been like a really literal, cool rock and roll title. If it was a weak album, it would be one thing, but the album's really strong, So it really doesn't matter what we call it, so why not have some fun with it?
Well, I don't like it. I don't like Fine at all. I don't want a record called Fine. That's how,
Well, all right.
What's your record called?
Yeah, but what's your record called? Pump? What the fuck is that?
The names, I have a list that somewhere in my files. I think there's over 100 titles on it, and people were going crazy. Everybody wants to name the record. It becomes this kind of a challenge.
Okay, back to the drawing boards then.
There was a survey done by the accounting firm of, Brian and David did a little survey. They went down, asked people 5 names here. Elevator, Fine, here's looking up your old address, Monkey House, and Pump.
And the survey went from Vancouver to Revere to Southborough.
People were just scraping the bottom of their shoes looking for, inspected by, anything that came into your head. But Pump did win out, and I just thought it was such a good title because it said so many things. It was sexual, it was musical, it was 90s,
It's more about the dynamics of the band, that process. It's not even about the title of the album anymore. It's about, who's right and who isn't, who can make the best argument or be the best politician. It's kind of fun, actually, because it takes pressure off the songs,
I'd say go for 3. Really? Oh, shit, right here. When it goes like this. You can't be H2O. Sure it can be. It's all a feeling thing.
Part of the process that we go through, we still have to sell ourselves to the record company. And believe it or not, we actually got up to the studio, and I don't think they were convinced we had the material.
All right, well, let's do the next one here.
More than anything, you want to please John Kalodner because, I mean, he's right there with you, really, and he knows what we're capable of. So he's just pushing and pushing and pushing because, you know, we might get lazy, we might be, you know, our focus can be off. And so John's just going, I know you guys can do better than this, or, you know, it's got to be this way, and you're going, oh, jeez, you know, can't we go drive our cars now? You know.
You really should put a chorus in after the first verse.
Oh, I see.
Because that really works,
yeah.
and it doesn't disturb, I mean, I am pleased, because it is a compromise between what they want and I want, because it doesn't interfere with the rest of the song.
Yeah.
But it needs it, because it's going too long before that chorus.
We're always complaining that there isn't enough of it done, and how can he make a judgment on a song that doesn't have all the lyrics? And yeah, but we don't have the lyrics. Well, we've got to play it for him anyway. So all that stuff, it's all part of the process, and a lot of it's hard.
And even Joe Perry's solo, is that a Perry solo?
Yeah.
I mean, that's going in the right direction.
Oh, it's great.
I mean, that's really, I mean, I'm surprised how good that is.
Yeah, the sound on that solo is something you've never heard before.
Which is what this whole album, I mean, already there's a couple songs that don't sound like anything else. I mean, this song doesn't sound like anything that's ever been recorded, which is why I think it's going to get so much attention.
It's real simple. For me now, looking back in retrospect on the whole procedure of creativity, quite often, we who are creating at the time, it's like a painting, and you get stuck by being the painter, by being in the frame, when in reality, the people that buy it and love the painting are standing back a little from it, right? So we being the creators, creative people, are like stuck in the frame and can't see that the colors, the reds are kind of fusing. We like to think it is because, hey, I know everything, I'm the greatest, right? So, but in that process of creativity, which, by the way, there's a lot of lunacy, and not just because the moon is full, it takes somebody like Kalodner or whoever the designated bad guy is to come in and say, hey, no, man, you should, you know, if you don't mind me saying so, you should try that. And John Kalodner has never said anything more than that. You know, I don't like that. You should try doing this there. And it's not finished until you change that lyric. And he'll be to the point, but he says it with love. You know, he knows that we have the bottom line, and he never lets us think any different, which is real good for us. It makes me want him to be even more critical.
Well, I mean, that's truly his masterpiece. I mean, that's really amazing and really bizarre.
Yeah.
It really is.
That is really bizarre.
I had no idea that's what that was about.
Yeah. Well, it didn't start out to be that way, but we haven't
Now I see
talked
why
about it.
the song is so commercial. You might want to change a couple words. I mean, like he raped. You know, he
Yeah,
could say
we're gonna
he
bump
popped or something,
Or he
and
did.
then, and the bullet. I mean, now I see why the discussion came up, because this is the kind of song that's so interesting that people will play it. And if there's a few, I mean, it would be a shame to not have it played because of 3 or 4 words. I see exactly why the discussion came up. I didn't really understand.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it goes. If he gets something that's cool for those, like, I mean, he could easily say he did a little bitty baby, you know, instead of he raped.
Yeah.
And we could get something for put a bullet in his brain, which basically says the same thing without.
See, now on Run, I mean,
It's heavy.
in the end, are you gonna? I mean, it needs, like, this also needs production kind of thing, like major, of some sort.
Yeah. The thing is that we want to leave it hanging with a kind of an ominous feel, like unresolved in a way, you know. So we want to leave the
You do,
tension.
because it does stay that way.
Yeah.
But then, okay, that's all right if you want to do that. But then on Runaway, those sections, then they should be orchestrated, or then there
Yeah.
should be, then they should have
The big, we
a
can make
George
the choruses
Martin
bigger,
or some. I mean, I understand about the tag because maybe that's how what the song says, but then the choruses and the runaway parts, the Janie's Got a Gun and the runaway parts, then they have to be more intense and melodic and, you know, easier to remember. If you're going to go out on a weird tag.
It's not like a big deal because I know John comes from the heart, and I have a lot of respect for his opinion. You know, I mean, you know, there's some things I don't like what he says about stuff, but you know, like when you stand back for a second, I don't get anywhere near as crazed about it as Stephen does. I mean, he's like, you know, it's not permanent, and nothing he says is etched in stone, and I don't think it's pronouncing judgment. It's like, you know, he's right and wrong too about things. You know, I mean, sometimes he'll take one word out of a lyric and go, that can't be in there. It's terrible, and it's like, sometimes he just needs something to hang his hat on, I guess. But for the most part, he's right, so I respect what he says, you know. And as far as whether I like it as a musician or an artist, I mean, you know, if I was that much of a musician or an artist, I'd be playing coffee houses in Cambridge. You know, I mean, I'm an entertainer and I play rock and roll and arena rock. And in order to do that, you have to make compromises.
Well, the thing is, I mean, Don't Get Mad in Love and Janie could be a classic song of all time if Bruce can get it right. And then
Done.
Other Side, you know.
Could be contender. My Girl could even be contender if they lay in three real strong singles. You could come with My Girl.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Did you get that?
Wherever somebody can kick his ass and make it go, that's great. But on the other hand, you know, it's a tough thing. I mean, you know, we've all tried to write lyrics, and it's not an easy task. So
No, and of course we all know that he has the best twisted sense of that. But if he would sit down and do it, I mean,
When he puts his mind to it,
Right.
he fucking writes such great stuff.
I know that.
he needs a little bit of inspiration. I think you're right, John.
That was the most uncomfortable time for me during this album, was when they said, get out of here and finish the songs.
You know, I don't think you need feel, you know, awkward about not being here for every second of the record. I mean, there's no question about it. Sometimes things happen, but, you know, and things happen when you're not in the room as well, good things. And, you know, there's no harm in that. And besides that,
Listen,
it's
let me
nothing
just
that
go
you
do
can't,
this.
nothing that you can't come over and
I will come by and visit you every
more
25 minutes.
more the better.
Every 25 minutes.
Good. I mean, I think that's great. And if you don't like something, we can fix it up.
Yeah, now that's not true. Shit goes down, it's down because Johnny's are just demos.
Huh? Ah.
But that's all right. I can live with it.
Well, you can go stand your backs to the door.
Wait, they still remember how to set mics up, Grace?
A couple of times a day.
couple times a day.
I hope I'm not too hard on them, but I need to
You know what? Nobody's hard enough on him. That's the problem.
Problem with Steven here is if he doesn't have the lyrics finished, it's not a song. You know, so Joe would look at me and say, well, finish the lyrics, we'll have a song. So of course I waited until the very last minute in Vancouver to finish up with those songs, which was pretty good. It got me really pissed off. And that seems to be how I work the best, is under pressure and bummed out and, you know, forced into stuff. That way I get more of me into my art.
Were you clear on Elevator? It doesn't sound exactly...
Yep.
I want to go commit suicide.
No, you don't, because the record's great.
Tell me more about how great the record is.
It's great.
I need
It
to
sounds
hear
like
it.
it
Is there a
sounds
hit
like...
anywhere?
Yeah, there's a lot of hits.
How many hits?
Well, let me listen to the whole thing first.
Tell me how much you love me.